Yo, what's going on, guys? Cultimush back at it with another video, and in this video I want to give you guys my first impressions of this Steam machine. I got myself an Alienware Steam machine along with the Steam controller, and I've been messing around with it for the last 2 days, trying out a couple games, trying out the streaming features, and this isn't a full review. I haven't spent enough time with the Steam machine, but I've been tweeting about it a lot, and a lot of you guys seem to really want to know my thoughts on the Steam machine. Also, at the end of this video, there will be a giveaway that you guys can look forward to. I'll be giving away a key for a complete set of Valve games, and I'll give you guys the rules for that giveaway at the end of the video. But moving on to my initial impressions of the Steam machine, and I quickly want to mention the aesthetics of the machine because that's probably what surprised me the most. And I'm only going to touch upon this a little bit in my first impressions, but the Alienware Steam machine is a beautiful console. I guess you can call it a console since that's what Valve is kind of marketing as, so I'm gonna call it a console. But it's a great looking piece of tech, and I'll put a picture up right now of the Alienware Steam machine next to my PlayStation 4, and you guys can see that the Alienware Steam machine is much smaller, much more of a compact device. The one thing that I don't like is that it does have a power brick, but honestly, with the size that the Alienware Steam machine comes with, that's a small sacrifice that I can make, and the machine itself just looks great. I was really shocked by it because before opening up the box, that was my first time looking at a Steam machine, and as far as design goes, I think Alienware has knocked it out of the park with the Alienware Steam machine. Now let's move on to a little bit more of the nitty-gritty and my exact experiences with the Steam machine. Now the Steam machine came with a Steam controller, and this Steam controller, I know a lot of you guys are excited for it. I know a lot of you guys don't give a shit about it, but the Steam controller is something that has a gigantic learning curve. For somebody like me that's been playing games for the last 15 years, and if I'm playing with a controller, I'm playing with a traditional console controller. I've been really accustomed to that over the last decade plus, and getting used to the Steam controller definitely was a learning curve. And I'm still not 100% in on it, but I have to say that this Steam controller has a lot of potential, and I think a lot of people are knocking it unjustly. Yes, for people like me that have been gaming for 10 to 15 years, it's a gigantic learning curve, and maybe you don't want to change it, that's perfectly fine. But if you actually do give it a chance, mess around with some of the settings, and there's a ton of settings to tweak from with the Steam controller, and I'm not going to get into everything in this video. I think it can really introduce an innovative way to play games. It's still a work in progress in my opinion. I think if a lot of games natively start supporting the controller, that'd be really great. But right now, it's still a work in progress. It just released. Give it time. Hopefully it gets better. But so far, it's been very interesting to say the least using that controller. Now, the Steam console isn't only locked to using the Steam controller. You can plug in an Xbox 360 controller, and for some reason, a lot of people seem to think you can't use an Xbox One controller. I plugged in an Xbox One controller, worked just fine. I was playing some Spec Ops the Line with the controller, and one thing that was weird was the analog controls were actually inverted, and I had inverted settings off. So I turned inverted settings on in Spec Ops the Line, and that fixed it. So that was kind of weird. Maybe the Xbox One controller has a bit of bugs working on the Alienware Steam machine, but for the most part, it still worked fine. Played Spec Ops the Line, played The Witcher 2, and I played the indie game Outland, and all of those worked fine with the Xbox One controller. Now I think we move on to the part that most of you guys care about, and that's the performance of the machine. Now, the Alienware Steam machine, the cheapest model costs about $450, and this isn't a machine that's made to replace your PC. It's being made as a standalone product or an extension to your gaming PC, and if you're using it as an extension, that's really where, in my opinion, you're getting the most out of the Steam machine. As far as performance goes, while I was playing Spec Ops the Line, I maxed out the game at 1080p, and I was getting a fairly solid 40 to 45 frames per second, but I noticed there was a bit of stuttering in the game. Witcher 2 was the same way. Witcher 2 was a game that I couldn't completely max out, of course, but I was able to play the game at around medium settings and got a reasonable frame rate. But there is a bit of stuttering that I noticed, and hopefully those issues will get ironed out over time. SteamOS is something that's still fairly new, so issues like that are going to be present. You know, if you're going in and buying a Steam console, issues like that are expected as an early adopter. The indie game I played, Outland, that worked like a dream, but chilling back on my couch and just enjoying the game, it's something that I typically don't do on my desktop, and I was able to enjoy that and still get 1080p visuals, and I really like that. And honestly, I didn't have that high expectations of the Steam console going into it, and this is just a first impressions video. I will mess around with it more and give you my full thoughts, but I just think this machine has a ton of potential. I think in the future, if SteamOS adds more games, because right now, if you want to locally download the games, not every Steam game is available, of course. There are some glaring omissions, but we're gonna see more and more titles get added to the SteamOS. Another cool thing that you can do with the Steam machine is actually stream games from your desktop PC. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, while that's a very cool feature, I know a lot of you guys do not have sufficient enough quality internet to stream games from your desktop to your Steam machine. I myself have an Asus 5 GHz dual band router, and my Steam machine isn't that far away from my desktop, and honestly, while I was trying to stream, it wasn't that playable of an experience. If I was streaming at 720p, it would do all right, but I was getting a lot of crashes, and at that point, I was just like, you know what, I don't want to play a game like this. I'd rather just play all the locally available games on the Steam machine, and considering that the device is just coming out, there are a lot of games to choose from. I like the fact that this isn't like the typical consoles like the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. When those released, you really only had 12 to 15 games to choose from. With the Steam machine, you do have a decent library of games to pick from to play locally. And yes, while some of the games are older, there's definitely a lot of games to enjoy and a lot of games to mess around with. So yeah guys, there you have it, my first impressions of the Steam machine. I didn't want this video to be the video that I really go super in depth and show you guys the interface and all that kind of stuff. That will come in a future video. And in my full review, once I mess around with the thing more, I want to get more accustomed with the Steam controller, because I was playing some games on the Steam machine with an Xbox One controller, but I really want to give the Steam controller a chance because I do think it has a lot of potential if I get used to it. And I just want to see how this machine evolves over the month. Are more games going to get added to SteamOS? Are some of the minor issues going to get ironed out? I really want to see this machine develop more over the next month before I give you guys my final review and actually get more playtime with the machine, because right now it wouldn't be adequate for me to give you guys a full review. So thought you guys would enjoy this. Also, for the giveaway, I will be giving away a Steam code that includes every Valve title. Now guys, if you already own a lot of the Valve titles, because some of you guys might have picked up some of the games on some of the Steam sales, please don't enter this giveaway. Let someone that doesn't own any games on Steam, you know, try to enter and win this key, because you guys are gonna get a lot of great games. Portal 2, Left 4 Dead, Counter-Strike. Now if you actually win the code and you're picking up a Steam machine, let me know, because that'd actually be pretty awesome. Winning the code and getting a Steam machine, that's gonna give you a lot of games to play from right out the gate. So without further ado, let's get right into the rules of the giveaway. Comment on this video on why you want to win the giveaway, and then all you have to do is follow me on Twitter, and I will be announcing the winner of the giveaway in the next 2 weeks or so. I want to give everybody a chance to enter. The full rules will be in the description box down below. If you guys don't understand something, let me know in the comments or tweet at me. My Twitter link will also be in the description box, and like I said, that's where I will be announcing the winner. So thanks for watching this video, guys. Let me know your guys' thoughts on the Steam machine. The one I've received from Alienware, I've honestly had some pretty positive experiences with it. Not completely positive, but really with any new launch, there are going to be some problems. There's a lot to like with the Steam machine, and I think it's got the potential to have a great future. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a great day. Peace out.